We're very excited. Today is the first day we've interviewed a dad.
Pop Bear's in the house.
We had to drag him out from behind his football. In Australia, different parts of Australia, different football is popular. And Simon is an AFL fan.
And it's the grand final, last couple of minutes of the game.
It's nearly finished, and he's pulled himself. We managed to pull him away from the grand final of the year. Is your team even playing?
No, that's why the care factor's around 0.
Oh, okay. You should have said yes.
And in Australia, if you're a big AFL fan, the grand final's huge. It's a big deal. So he's here missing the last few minutes. So we're super grateful. Now, for you guys that have just literally tuned in, Simon is our first dad we've interviewed. So up to this point, we've interviewed all mamas. And this week, Simon's our first dad, which is a big deal because he's a dad, but also because Simon has lost, since he started our program over a year ago now, was when he first started. He lost 28 kilos and he's been now in maintenance. How long have you been in maintenance for now, Simon?
I'd be around 9 months, but I changed over to build some muscle in Irondad for about 6 weeks now. Yep.
Cool. So
it's like 28 kilos you lost, right? And then added 3 kilos of muscle.
Yes.
28 kilos is about 70 pounds, and then he added about 7 pounds of pure muscle. And how does Tania feel about the muscle?
Well, firstly, Simon, can you introduce yourself for the people that don't know? Tell us about your wife and your kids. Tell us a bit about you quickly.
Well, 2 boys. Grew up playing a lot of sport, and then sort of work and kids got in the way. And a couple of years ago, I was just, wasn't in a good place at all, actually. I was 108 kilos was my weight, and really struggling. Diagnosed with depression, which was something I didn't have any experience with. So they gave me some fairly strong medication, which I didn't like, and it didn't make me sort of, it made me very drowsy a lot. I really struggled with that. So it was only a few months, a few months later when Tania started Fitmum, and, initially, as I've said, I was a bit sceptical, and I thought, here we go, another one of these bloody diet things. But it only took a couple of weeks, and I realised how much it was genuinely working, and I said, well, I asked her a few more questions about it, and then only a week or so after that, I jumped on board myself. So, because the results were just happening so quickly for us, and haven't looked back, and it's been genuinely life changing. Yeah.
So you're off the medication now?
Oh yes, been off that for a good period of time, over a year now, and it's brilliant because I'm sleeping a lot better. I think that's one of the best things about not just losing the weight but getting fit as well, is you tend to sleep much deeper. So when I sleep, I really sleep. Someone could drive a tractor past and I don't reckon that'll wake me up. Our boys have snuck in several times and I didn't even know they were there. Actually, one last night snuck in. He said he had a bad dream, and I didn't even realise he'd come in. So, yeah.
That's so cool. So life's great. So for those of you just tuned in, we're interviewing Simon. Now, he's our first fit dad. He is married to Tania. Now, we interviewed Tania week 1. Our interview started. So Simon's lost 28 kilos. Back when we interviewed Tania, she's lost around the same, about 30 kilos. So as a family, they've really transformed. And I know a lot of you have been excited about us interviewing Simon and starting to interview some dads so that they're out there as well. They're just a bit more quiet. So we dragged Simon in to talk to him. He suffered depression when he first started the program. So he's on medication, antidepressants quite heavily. And now over a year later, he's been in maintenance now for 9 months. He's off the meds and he's just living a healthy, happy lifestyle with his family. That's huge because a lot of people are on medication all the time and they're just living this life thinking that there's no light. It's not going to get any better. This is it. This is how life is, and it doesn't have to be that way. So Simon, you're living proof that you can transform your life, you can lose all your weight, you can get off medication, you can actually live a healthy, happy life, which every parent and every person deserves to live.
Everyone needs to know this. Simon is a very big advocate for talking about mental health. So this is kind of like your platform for you, Simon. So if you can explain to some people, like, what then happens? Do you get a second opinion? Do you just start meds straight away? How does it work for people in that situation that you were in?
Yeah, so what he said initially was, we'll try the medication for a couple of months and see how you're feeling. And I said to him, look, and I remember saying to my wife, I said, it's just making me feel so tired, and I had no energy, and I think even my work struggled right through that time. So then he offered, which I probably wrongly accepted, to up the medication. So he offered to give me a stronger dosage of the drug, and in the end, I said, okay, yeah, we'll give that a go, but that didn't do a great deal. So I did rack the brain for a little while on, okay, something has to be done. I've got to change somewhere here. I think part of the depression was playing sport for a lot of years and then stopping. I think I really struggle with that, because you see a game on the TV and you think, oh, geez, I'd love to be out there doing that. You know, I miss the camaraderie of playing in a team and all of that. So when Tania found you, I remember it like it was yesterday. She pulled up Google, and she said, I found this program, and a very small percentage of me thought, is this my way out the other side of depression? I didn't verbalise it, but I think deep down I thought, maybe this could be something. And that happened pretty quick. You know, Tania's results started coming in the first. She was losing, I think she lost 4 or 5 kilos in the first 3 or 4 weeks, and I noticed it straight away. And I'd actually, before I'd even joined, I'd lost a couple of kilos, and I was waking up with a little bit more energy, and I wasn't even exercising pretty much at that stage. And I was watching her go through, week 2, week 3, do the exercises, and then she was doing the 5K run, and I used to love running. And then I said, okay, yeah, this is time for me to get involved here, because this is just, you can see that it's genuinely. And she never was a runner, and now she runs. She's done an ultra marathon herself. So that was that was pretty significant for us. But I deal with people that have depression at work every day, and what I struggle with is this: they use it as their excuse for all these other things that happen in their life. They use their depression as a reason why they can't get a job, as a reason why they can't get their driver's license, as a reason why they've got in trouble with the law. And I don't do it because we've got protocols and things we have to follow, but I feel like grabbing them sometimes and just saying, look, yes, you've got it. Yes, it can be real. You can have really dark days, but you can come out the other side, and you can control your own life. You can don't let your diagnosis control you.
Yeah, and it's actually not just you. We have mums and dads all the time in our program, and I know you're always there to support them when they say, I've got depression, I'm suffering postnatal depression. You're always the first to comment and say, look, everything will be okay. So you're not the only one. This is very, very common, and especially people coming through our program and just getting healthy in general can really get you off the meds and actually see light at the end of the tunnel. And a lot of people don't realize that, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you touch on a really good point there, Simon, is that I was actually talking to Tania about this yesterday and asking her, as your wife, how it went, because you've said in the past that it's not just the person that suffers, it's the whole family that suffers when somebody has a mental illness. Yeah. And I asked her whether there was ever, a point where it's easy then to blame the disease and not the person for behavior. And she said you've never done that, but you just said before that so many people you see once they get diagnosed with depression or a mental illness, then it's easier for them to get away with their previous behaviors because then they don't take the responsibility on themselves. It's then it's the disease's fault for that behavior.
It's a very easy out.
So what do you say to people who do that?
Oh, the thing that I'm really struggling with is the ones that are doing it are really young people, like they're 18, 19 years old. And what I struggle with is I think they're setting themselves up for failure in the future because they're just blaming. They're blaming their depression for why they don't want to actually get out of bed each day. And I even heard it yesterday, actually. A girl was saying she couldn't come to her appointment because of her depression. And they've got requirements. They have to come to appointments. And it was just, I felt like grabbing the phone and saying to her, look, yes, you've got it. Yes, there are dark days, but you can come out the other side. Half of it is the right mental attitude.
How did you then, at what point did you say to yourself, I might try reducing the meds, or how does that work? Like, you're off your meds now and you have been for a while, but how did you get to that point?
I can remember there was a day there where Tania actually asked me, she said, are you still taking your meds? And I said, no. I said, I've made the call to pull the pin on them because I can come out the other side of them without them. That was maybe 3 months or so into the program. I just said, no, that's it. They're gone. I'm not going to go there at all. Haven't looked back.
Because you hear a lot of people saying, don't stop your meds when you start feeling better.
Yeah.
That's the doctor's always like, just don't stop your meds when you feel better because you could have a relapse or whatever it is. But for you, it was the opposite.
Yeah. And not just Simon.
But they never made you feel any better, though. Yeah, you said that they made you feel tired, and that didn't really help.
They made me sort of lose emotion, if you know what I mean, in a way that you didn't care about. You just sort of sat there on the couch, sort of almost like a vegetable as such, and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Faye's asking questions here, Jay. Can we? There's a mum that's asking a few questions.
So she wants to know, how do you fit this into your busy life? Whoops, it's gone now. Sharny, just hang on.
There's a first question she asked.
How do you fit this in a busy life? Interested to hear about depression. Her weight makes her feel down.
Hang on, there's more to it.
She's currently living with her parents while they find a house. They work full time, have 2 kids, and who have clubs every night. Would this program fit in our mad life? What do you think, Simon?
Yeah, well, the thing about that is the program, and there's certainly lots of videos that have been created for short workouts at home, on your couch with your kids. So the time, I don't agree with the I don't have time sort of excuse that people come up with, because if you get your heart rate up in a 5-minute workout and your kids are involved and they think, why is mum doing these burpees that people all the time tell us they hate? They've got to learn to love them. That's what I'll tell them. But the example to the kids, our boys, my 10-year-old now, I don't know whether 10-year-olds are meant to have defined abs or not, but he has, because he just works out. He loves it. And everything is improving. He just won an award at school for resilience. And the teacher said he's improving because he just keeps trying. And
that's huge.
I'm just so proud of him for that, because he doesn't just he's not as bright as some of the other kids because he's very athletic, and that's okay. But we just want him to try. I'll talk about what happened last weekend. I just wanted to do something to show them that, life, you got to try things in life that are outside your comfort zone. You got to do something that most people wouldn't do, and do things that, you normally wouldn't do in life. You got to challenge yourself, and I want them to grow up thinking that. So I thought, okay, I better, this is something good for me to do to do that.
So also, Faye, in answer to your question, with Simon, actually their kids do sport all the time as well. And Simon does sport, Tania does, they actually are a really busy family like you guys. So they have actually been able to do more now since they've gotten healthy. So they are closer. And I know you guys are very public with sharing. Your marriage is way better. You do a lot more physically as a family. You have a lot more fun. And there was a lot of financial stress when they first started and a lot going on for them. And they did this anyway, and they've come out the other side such a more happy, positive family that is busy. They're doing more sport. Yeah. So
and the fitter you are and the healthier you eat, the more time you find. Like you feel like you need to sleep less, which is a really odd thing. As soon as you start eating healthy, you're like, I can't actually sleep long in the morning. Yeah. And when you're fit, you want to do things. Do you find that as well, Si?
Oh, I love it. I like 5:30 comes. I actually don't have to set an alarm now because I'm really keen to attack the day. So it gets around 5:30 and I'm awake. I've already prepared my gear to hit the gym like at 6 o'clock because the gym doesn't open until 6.
Yeah.
And there's a pool there as well. So next challenge is a triathlon, and I'll talk about that if you want to at some stage because that's what I'm going to do. Triathlon, never done one before. It'd be pretty awesome. Yeah. So 6 o'clock, hit the gym. No.
Straight into the iron, mate.
3K swim, 180K bike ride, and a full marathon. Yeah, that might be.
That's definitely got to put it on your bucket list.
That's on.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. But I get to the gym and you just feel good when you start sweating and you start pushing yourself. You just feel so much better. So then I have a shower and I head to work and everything changes. I'm more productive at work. I don't feel like sitting at my desk. Because when you have a desk job, there's nothing worse than being stuck sitting behind a desk for hours. I like getting out. I get out a lot more, and it's just it literally does change everything. And I'm just a normal guy. Every dad that's listening or mum that's listening that wants to get their hubby involved, I'm no different to anyone else. So they can do it, and so they can do it even better if they do it as a family, as a husband and wife.
Definitely.
But I love the impact on the kids. Even our 6-year-old, for a 6-year-old boy to run a 5K, which he did on last weekend, I was so proud of him. Like, he wanted to give up, but his mum's, we're trying to teach him to be resilient. His mum encouraged him to keep going. Now, she got some foul looks, because there was a mum I think a mum even said to her, let him stop. And, we don't want to teach that to them, that if things get a bit tough in life, you just quit. That's not where we want to go. And so she gave him the great encouragement that he needed, and he finished that. I couldn't imagine running 5Ks when I was 6. That's just, I was just so proud of the little fella.
Same.
And then the fact that he got an award at school for resilience, like I know they
this
support
is two different kids in that.
Yeah, but they're both resilient. Like you're promoting resilience with your kids, which is like at the moment in Australia, it's all about participation. As like that's the big award, is that you actually just participated.
I know.
And like the also rans. Whereas this is like taking it another level where it's so much more about life. Like it's not. I agree that it's not all about winning, but to be able to lose and then get back up is so much more important than being the best at sport. What you're teaching your kids is so huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got Vicky here with a comment. Simon, this is truly a heartfelt story, and I, along with many millions, completely understand. I'm so happy for you and your family. You have conquered the black dog and now are strong enough to share your story. Being able to share your story will help you and many others. Keep smiling and keep helping others.
Yeah,
so true.
Yeah,
like that's a big thing. There's so many things we can talk to you about. Like we haven't even mentioned that last week Simon ran 2 marathons in a row, like one after the other. 83 kilometers he completed.
86.
86?
How much was it?
No, 83. Yeah.
83.
83 Ks he ran. Like
which is
90.
Wow.
Yeah, like
so
18 months ago he was struggling to get off the couch. Now he knocks out 2 marathons in a row. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So we started at 6 a.m. So it was a 100-kilometre ultra marathon. And I did what you said because I do listen. I've been getting up in the morning and doing a few training runs, like 4 o'clock in the morning, running till the sun comes up. So we started at 6 and 3 people didn't turn up. So there was only 10 of us in the race. So there's only 10 people. and I was the only non-runner amongst the 10 as such that does all the professional circuit of running. And they just, we started, and these guys just sprinted off almost. And I thought, hang on, we've got 100 Ks to do here. This is crazy. You know, I remember Julius said to me, start slow and then slow down. So I did. Got through the first, because the course is a 10-kilometre lap. So you do a lap and then you do that 10 times. So I got to the 8th lap, and the mind was willing, but the legs were just at my physical limit.
Yeah.
And the medical officer said, look, I'm going to give you another kilometre. I don't think your legs are going to carry you the distance. So I'll let you do that kilometre, and then if I think it's not right for your health to keep going, I'll pull you out. Credit to him, he was spot on, because about a couple of Ks down the road, the legs literally gave up. I wanted to keep going, the mind, and that's the thing about your mind, it can be a powerful thing, but my legs just gave up.
That's really cool.
And I ended up collapsing after they got me out of the first aid car. So, that was a weird feeling when your body had I couldn't even stand up.
That's so cool. This is a big thing as well, is people, they don't realize what they're capable of. And, they say, I won't run a marathon because I won't finish it, or I won't run 100 Ks because I won't finish it. But the point of this, and I tried to tell you this as well, Simon, in amongst my many messages to you, is it's not about finishing, it's about finding a limit. So 100 Ks is such an astronomical number, especially for someone who hasn't run, like you weren't running a year and a half ago. That the point is to see how far you can actually go before your body quits on you, and then see how far you can go beyond that when you're running just with your spirit and with your emotions, not to finish, because you kind of rob yourself of that reward, which is so much bigger. Like the feeling now you have of the fact that you know how far you can go is, to me, is so much more of a reward to you than finishing and then not knowing how much further you could go.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people as well, they, like Julius said at the beginning, they won't try something for fear that they won't finish. And it's never about whether you finish. Like doing a marathon, you don't need to run the whole thing. You might walk some of it. It doesn't matter. But the fact that you just were like, I'm going to do this 100K. I'm just going to see how far I get. I might finish it. I might not. It doesn't matter. What matters is you just, whatever you do, you throw yourself into challenges to see what you're capable of. I think that's the coolest thing on this watching you do this whole thing, is that you just did it anyway and you didn't even know whether you were going to finish. And
to do it to show your kids resilience. Like this is the whole purpose of FitDad and Fitmum, is everyone thinks it's just a weight loss program. It's never been just a weight loss program. And people who actually succeed in weight loss, they realize that it's so much more than that. It's a way to show your own, like our next generation, the things that really matter now as humans and as people in society. And one of them is resilience, and one of them is getting up. One of them is pushing yourself to the limits and seeing how far you go, not just for the Instagram photo, because everyone for most people would do that so they can get a photo of themselves with a medal afterwards. And the risk of not getting that medal is so high that they wouldn't even try. They wouldn't even bother. Whereas you didn't give a shit. You're there to see how far you can go. And your reward is the look in your children's eyes. And one day when they're older, they're going to go, you know what? I watched my dad push through. The medical officer said to him, you need to stop. And he still kept going. And that's why I'm a successful athlete or business person or husband or father or whatever it is that they're going to be one day. It's because of their biggest hero in life. And that's you, Simon, their dad.
Yeah. No, see, growing up without one, that's something that's sort of, I don't know if I told you that. I grew up without a dad, so it's something that I've really taken hold of to make sure that I'm a dad that the boys can really look up to. Because I've got 5 brothers and sisters, and we pretty much got raised. Our mum worked 2 jobs to raise us, so she certainly taught us resilience as kids. But I don't think I don't see a more important job than how we raise the next generation. We want them to aim high. If they're just raised to sort of accept accept that they're going to do whatever job that mum or dad did or whatever it is, then they're not going to reach for the stars. They're not going to push themselves beyond where and find that limit. I know where my running limit is now. So I don't know how I'm going to go with the triathlon. That'll be a different limit to try and find. But just what it does for kids. I would love to just get other dads. I don't know whether he's watching because he would have watched the football, but a friend I played soccer with for years, I'm so excited him and his wife have joined because they've recently just had their third child and their boys are teenagers, their boys are playing a lot of sport and he wants to get fit. And I think he's got a great opportunity to be an awesome example for his boys and his wife as well. I'm really excited for them, and I'm going to be talking to them, regularly because, because I know how good it is when you come out the other side. I enjoyed playing a bit of soccer this year. At 44, to come out of retirement and play soccer, that was really good fun. The soft tissue injuries didn't help, but that's me age. But aside from that, I just really enjoyed it. I jump on a plane tomorrow morning to take Oliver to playing national championships up in Brisbane, and I've got some boys in that team that have never played any sport before at all, and I'm so excited about coaching them because they're at that age. They're 10 years old. The experience that this trip's going to give them and the coaching that I'm going to continue to give them can really set them up for the rest of their lives. Because, one of them's quite a quiet boy. He's very shy, but he really enjoys the game. So, I'm just really, really excited about this opportunity in the coming week with these kids.
That's so cool. And just to circle back to the fact that you never had a dad. So that seems to have been actually a benefit to you and to your kids, is that you didn't have someone to mess you up completely.
Maybe not.
So you had a clean slate to work from.
Yeah, I've heard that about dads, and the other examples that we've had in our family, haven't been, as far as father figures go, haven't been great either. So it does. I think it does. It drives me pretty regularly. Yeah,
and then the fact that you're not just a dad to your own kids. You're thinking in a fatherly figure towards the kids that are playing sport that you're coaching and that sort of thing. And full credit to your mum as well. Like that's a big thing. Your mum was your mum and your dad.
Yeah, she did an amazing job. She worked 2 jobs to make sure that we ate each week. We got to Wednesday each week and we wasn't sure whether it was because payday was Thursday. We knew. We got to Wednesday every week and the cupboard was pretty much bare. 6 kids. We pretty much ate everything. And Wednesday, I hated Wednesdays because I knew that it wasn't much to eat. But Thursday was coming, so it was only a day away.
Yeah.
So that's a humbling experience as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're an inspiration, Si. You really are.
Inspiration to so many people.
And I guess for a lot of people watching now, they're so scared to even start a 5-minute workout. So for them to hear that a year ago you couldn't even run and you're now running ultra length distances with your running and you're doing so much, you've gone back to soccer at 50. Are you 50?
44, you just 44. Said?
Gee, she's added 6 years to me.
Sorry, Si. I don't know why I said you don't look 50. I was like, God, you just look a gorgeous 50. You look like you're 40.
Oh, well saved, madam.
So anyway, for people that are afraid to even start a 5-minute workout.
Simon ran for 12 hours straight.
So you can do
12 hours you did?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
just 12 hours. Like most people don't even... Wow. But, a 12-hour workday.
Yeah.
And Simon ran for a whole 12 hours.
And even, I guess, if you're thinking about going back to yoga or just getting off your butt and starting to do some sort of exercise again that you love, I hope Simon's inspiration of how much him and Tania do now, and they did nothing prior. Can you show a fat photo right now of Tania and Simon? This is how big they were.
That's not the fat photo.
So that's them now, happy and in love like teenagers.
Look at him carrying her.
Oh, it's just so cute.
Oh, that's Simon there.
This one. Oh, jeez.
Yep. That was back in the party days when you were a big drinker and watching footy. Is that right?
Yes, it was. And I'll tell you what, those photos, they are really good. And that's why I just want to say to anyone too, just in case anybody's listening, don't forget to take your before pics. I probably could have taken more before pics, but they're the most they're the most encouraging thing when you do get really good results. When you get these pictures like that one there, you can really see how far you can come. And don't be scared or worried about taking your before pics. So just make sure you do that if you're tuning in and you're listening.
Yeah, and you don't have to show anyone. You can just take them, set them aside, keep them on your phone, and just save them for that rainy day. Because I guarantee you, when you lose 30 kilos, you'll want to show the world, this is how fat I was, and look at me now.
That one there is Tanya's 40th, and that's that's only a couple of months before we started. So that's a very recent photo before she started that one.
What about that one?
That's only a couple of months in. She'd only been doing the program a couple of months there.
Yeah.
So, and not only just joined there. Yep.
All right. Ellen does have a very important question here that I'm going to throw at you. She said she knows you saw your results were slower than Tanya's. Did that discourage you, and how did you overcome that?
No, I tried to adopt the growth mindset that losing, doesn't matter the speed that you're losing, is positive, even if it was slow. I noticed it was slower. I was really encouraged that she was getting to, I remember one of her early goals was to get to 70 kilos, and she hit that pretty quickly, and I was just so proud of her. I didn't let it get to me. I was a fair bit slower losing the weight, but it was getting fitter was the bigger picture. And
also for you, Simon, remember, like you've always been about, when you came in, it was more about your mental health. You wanted to be happier. Yeah. So the weight loss was always a byproduct. Yeah,
it was. Definitely was. I can remember when I celebrated when I just got under 100. You know, I was 108 when I started. When I hit to 99, I thought, oh, this is good. You know, and then I got to 90 and then down to 80, and I thought, right, yep, that's pretty much where I don't think I can go any further than that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, it is. I just want dads to just what it means for when you can run around an oval with your kids, when you can do so much with your kids, and you can go and kick a ball, you can go for a bike ride. It just changes your whole family's life. It's not just about me. If your life is just about you, it's a very sort of selfish existence. But if you make it about other people, it has such a bigger impact on them. And I love that. And now friends, are regularly making comments, and they're really nice comments. And what I'm more encouraged about is more and more friends are joining. They're jumping on board. They're choosing to make this lifestyle change. And one couple have got young twins, and they're so passionate about life. She's running for local council, and they're only young, only in their 20s, but she's a very passionate person. I'm really proud of them.
You're inspiring so many people.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate pay it forward, really. Hey,
a
lot of people, they don't realize what they're doing for other people just by looking after their own health.
And how many people you inspire around you just by watching, by you taking a stand for your health. You don't even realize the ripple effect on people you don't even know that may not ever even say anything to you. They just start being healthy because they see you doing it and you inspire them.
And there's no weird shit about it. Like, you're not taking some odd pill that you have to take every month for the rest of your life, or you're not taking some
shake every day.
Shake that you got to buy that's chemically infused with some random
plant.
Like you're just eating healthy and exercising. That's really it. And you're doing it with your family.
Yeah. One of our managers at work, I hadn't seen him for nearly 2 years because he's based in Victoria. He came down when I first joined the company, and that was right at the time when I started. So he saw me at 108 kilos, and he saw a photo about a month ago, and he's emailed me straight away. He said, "What are you doing? What's happened?
What are you taking? Did he ask you what you're taking?
Did he ask you if you were sick?"
Well, actually, people have asked if I was sick. It's a bizarre thing, that. But he actually guessed it. He said, "Geez, you look like you've lost 30 kilos." I said, "Well, actually, you're bang on." Same thing. He's a dad, and he's so caught up in the busyness of life as such that he hasn't done anything for himself. And he used to play footy as a young fella, and I said, just take the first steps. That first you know, 1K run or whatever it is a great first step, no matter what it is. But you know, the diet is the food changes, and cutting out the food is the crucial thing. And I hear people regularly say, "Oh, I can't wait to get home from work to have a drink," you know, and that's the mindset. I don't even miss it. Don't miss it at all. Today is the day when most people in Australia drink watching the football, and that's cool. It's a cultural thing that they do, and we just choose not to do that anymore. And I don't judge people that do. But for our family fitness and for our health, we don't drink anymore, and that's been a really good thing for our family.
Actually, let me touch on that. So Tania and Simon used to drink wine. They used to, you know, get home or on the weekend they'd enjoy their wine. Or did you have scotch or you? I can't remember. Anyway. Yeah. And now they have sparkling water with some mint and some lime, and they mix that together and, you know, wine glass, and that's what they do with their vegetable platter on the weekends. That's their new habit.
Would you say you used to hide from life through the bottle and now you actually live your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you got way more energy. There's none of these horrible hangovers. Oh, that'd have to be the worst. You know,
especially with kids.
Oh, yeah.
Why do parents torture themselves like that?
Oh, I can recall those days. Yeah.
And I've got one more question as well on did you, because you do cooking as well, like you're a big cook in the kitchen, both you and Tania and the kids. Did you realise there was so much you could do with vegetables since doing the program?
I love it. Like cauliflower rice. I genuinely grew up hating cauliflower. And if my mum knew it, she would just, in the end, she just didn't even bother putting it on the plate. So she couldn't force me, no matter what she did, unless if she held my mouth open and shoved it in there, I wasn't going to eat it. But now, we bake it in the oven, make cauliflower rice. It's just, you know, it's one of those great veggies amongst all the veggies that we do. But yes, you're exactly right. You know, I'm going to make if people want to go in and have a look at our cookbook, I'm going to make my kebabs that are in the cookbook. I'm going to make them tonight because the kids love them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you do the program, Simon's talking, you get a free cookbook. It's called Nourish. It's got hundreds of recipes of all the mums and dads that they've created doing the program. So it literally takes the thinking out of it. You've got all these recipes that are approved, as well as the ones in the program that actual mums and dads have created for you, so that you can start without the stress of going, oh my God, I'm no good in the kitchen. You'll become really incredible with cooking.
Simon, what would you say to you back 18 months ago before you started?
I would say start today. I wouldn't even give it a second thought. Now that I know what I know how much it changed everything. The more energy you have, literally every aspect of life, you have more energy with your partner, you have more kids, you have more energy at work, and you actually look at the world in a different set of eyes. It's like it opens your eyes up to say, okay, there's so much more in this world than just going to work, coming home, getting on the drink on the weekend, having a hangover on Sunday, and starting the whole thing again, back to work on Monday. There's just so much more to life and all that. And yeah, I would start that day. So I'd say, Simon, get off the couch, get into it, get your runners on, and get down the road. That's right.
That's so cool.
You've seen our driveway?
Oh yes.
It's like
it's horrible. Like who would ever choose the house like that?
It's only 2 degrees off being. It's 2 degrees off being illegal. That's how steep it is.
Wow, it's a good hill sprint hill, that's for sure.
Perfect for a fitness family.
Yeah, so right when I first lost the weight, I got a weight vest, and I ran up that driveway carrying a weight vest that had the 28 kilos in it. And it's just, I encourage anyone, when you do lose your weight, and there's an opportunity to get something, get a weight vest, go and see a local gym. They'll probably have them there. Hopefully they'll lend you one, and you can put that weight on and just feel what it's like. Go for a little run, go for a walk, feel what you used to carry around, and it blows your mind that I was carrying around.
Yeah.
So
that's
for
such
people,
a good point, because also people think because they're overweight, it's really hard to get fit. But because you're overweight, you actually are at an advantage because you are carrying so much weight. You can get fitter than someone who's lighter. Like running around with a permanent weight vest on you puts the strain on your heart that you actually need to get fitter. You'll have a really strong heart for when you've lost all of the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a secret weapon for everyone watching, if you want a cute butt and cute legs,
Like Simon.
Hill sprints are the way to go. That's why Tania and Simon have such a cute butt.
Yeah, no, our driveway's definitely good for that. It's so funny. Our friends, when they come, there's not a lot of room to park at the top of the driveway, so a lot of the time they have to park down the bottom and walk up. And they come up and puffing, and I've done my workout for the month, they say, and I love it. Like, good, yep, let's go and do it again.
Okay, Simon, final word. What do you got?
All right. Don't doubt yourself. It's really easy for life and the voices of others, like family, mums and dads, brothers and sisters, to just say, have another drink. Oh, take the weekend off and come and have a drink with us. Come and eat this. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a weekend. But you're trying to change the rest of your life. The more you do these little cheats, I think some people call them, or whatever you want to call them, the more you do those things, the harder it is to make this change a long-term, life-altering thing. You know, when a doctor says to you, you've probably added 30 years to your life, when you think about what kind of impact that's going to have for your kids. So don't listen to those people that want to tell you that it's okay to eat the rubbish, it's okay to drink loads of alcohol, it's okay to sit on the couch and watch Netflix or whatever it is. It's okay to do those things, you know. If you want to change your life, you've got to make the hard decisions. But the first thing is, our family in here, our Fit family, will help you. You're not alone. There's 15, 16,000 of us that all have different stories, that all have there's some amazing people in here that can all help you. And none of us are here to judge you. This is probably one of the most non-judgmental Facebook places that there ever is. You know, I've never seen someone say, "Oh, you're doing no good." I've never heard that. I've never seen that, because that's not what we're about. We're about lifting each other up and building each other and encouraging one another to get the results we have for our family and for those around us. So just don't doubt the program. That's one. Don't doubt us as your Fit family as support, because we're not going anywhere. You know, we're here. We're going to be offering every bit of advice that we have and a bit of assistance and encouragement whenever you need it, and just take the plunge. I read someone today wrote that, and it seems to be a common thing, they sort of start and then stop, and then they start again and then they stop again. And the quote that I always share, you know, I know what it's like to quit. I want to see what happens when I don't. And that's where the change is, and that's and that's what I really just want to encourage people to do. Just take the leap of faith that we are here. The program is here. All of the exercises, all our awesome recipes, everything is here for us to help you, and you can do it. You've just got to believe in yourself, because we believe in you. You've made the decision to join us, and that's a great first step. But just use us. We're here to help. We're not here to, we're not here to just be a part of it. We're here to help you all the way. You know, if you're struggling with something, come to us. We will. There's so many amazing people that have amazing stories that will help you along the way. So yeah, that's my.
Thank you, Simon.
That's amazing. The best advice. That was so good.
Yeah, people don't realize that it's not just Sharny and me, which would be extremely boring. You've got Simon, you've got Tania, and you've got 14,000 other people.
15,000 other people.
There's no one better to teach you than someone who's just completed what you're about to do. Yeah. And it's amazing. What we love the most, which makes us so proud and humbled, is the fact that someone will lose the weight like you have and will turn around and help the person behind them. And that to us is what a parent is meant to do.
Yeah.
And such a beautiful inspiration to so many people. And you, Simon, along with Tania and your boys, are right at the tip of the spear. And we're so humbled and so grateful that you've joined us today and that you've joined us in your life and that you've been so courageous to share your story with us and with everybody who's listening and tuning in and watching. And that you chose to do it while your favorite sports grand final was on. This must mean a lot to you.
Yeah. And I know how much it is for you and Tania now that you're feeling so incredible and everything, your family life, everything's going so well for you. You want to pay it forward. You want other people to feel that are in a dark place or financially struggling, or there's all these just whirlwind things going on for them. You want them to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. That's why you and Tania are so open with your story.
Yeah, you used to have every excuse. Like if you want a list of excuses, it was you. You could have had any excuse.
Yep.
And they were all valid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're going to let you get back to that.
We'll let you go and enjoy
Simon.
your family. And thank you, Si. You're an inspiration. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And thanks, Simon.